Good morning, everyone. Today is an around the house day and kids are doing math today. Right now we also did just a slow day. Sometimes when we're at home, if everybody just kind of needs a break, some time to rest up, we'll just sometimes do that and then start school whenever. The only subjects I really worry about doing every single day are math and the foreign languages, because those you kind of really need to stay on top of. The rest of them, like the literature, we usually do as we travel. Science and social studies, or history, I just prefer to call it history. Science and history we usually do as we go through the day. But what I wanted to take you all through today, I'm starting our cold weather prep. So what does that mean? So we live in an older home. This home was built in the early 70s and it was moved to this property. When it was moved to this property, they added on that office, our room, the laundry room, half our living room, our master bathroom, our whole room, all that. So like half the house was added on to add on the square footage. We love the house. One of the downsides is, because the house was added on to, they didn't really accommodate for that when they did the HVAC system. So the HVAC system, since living here for 9 years, has never heated the entire house. A solution we found that saved on our budget was, just like we ordered the AC unit, which I'll do a video reviewing that at the end of this season and talk about it, we individually heat each room with space heaters that accommodate the sizes of that room. So like we have a space heater for the office, one for our room, one for each of the kids' rooms, and I'll talk about how we safely do that as well. The kitchen we don't really have to worry about, because in the winter time we find that we love doing like biscuits and homemade breakfasts and things, and then for lunch we do like soups and stews, and then for dinners we're usually baking something, so it's always heating the house up anyway. So the kitchen we're not worried about. Laundry room, the heater heats it up. The laundry room, actually, the way they added it on, in the summer there is a vent in there for the AC, and the AC works fine with a little bit of help from the extra AC unit in the living room. And then our master bedroom has fans in there because Matt and I like our rooms cooler than the kids do, which is another bonus for doing heaters. But the laundry room, with just the AC running to it, it actually gets too hot in there with the dryer running to keep the door closed, which is also why one of my storage designs for this kitchen was we use a shoe holder to hold like all of the kitchen towels and things like that. And I actually need to wash like a lot of them, so they're all right there. I also just put out, this is our table where we dry the hand wash dishes, so I just changed those out so it kind of looks colored. But another goal right now, give me a minute, another goal right now was that door has to stay open anyway, so we use that, so that's fine. But when it starts getting colder, so we turn the ACs off. Fall in East Tennessee is so weird, so we turned the ACs off a couple days ago. But now it's actually it's actually cold enough now to where we're going to need the heaters at night. We're probably not going to need them during the day, and I'm going to leave the AC unit out for another 2 weeks in case it gets too hot during the day. But it's officially the time of year where we joke in the South where you have to have the heat at night and the AC during the day. It's just too cold to not otherwise. So I'm going to take you through some of the prep that we do to transition our house from cool, or the summer where we're doing AC units only, to how we prep our house in the winter with heaters and everything else we do to keep our house warm. The first thing we start doing as transitioning is we literally just add some extra quilts on whenever it's in between that we're running AC and fans, and when we start actually needing the heaters at night. So as you can see, we actually have this gray quilt that we purchased when we purchased our Nectar mattress 2 years ago. It came with this sheet set, and then after we purchased it, we went to Kohl's and picked up this beautiful quilt. It actually has some shams that go with it. Those are actually in the laundry. We do the shams that go with the quilt whenever we do. We also bought a second set of sheets that are gray. So when we wash the gray sheet, the gray sheets, we do the gray pillow shams with it. Normally in the summer, it's so hot that we usually just sleep with just like a super lightweight quilt, just Matt and me. And then we also, over here, we have a fan here, and if it's on those really hot days, like if it actually gets towards the hundreds, I'll actually plug a second fan up over here. But we actually didn't have any super hot days this summer. We were fine just having the fan. I think like maybe once we had a second fan in here, but that was about it. Because we also have a fan in our bathroom in here, so sometimes running that with the AC works just fine. And for some reason, like, we can do the AC, but the heat, it takes more electric. It's just not able to run all the way through the house. So in the summer it was fine, and then we just had the slight one. Now with it a little bit cooler, we're trying to wait a little bit before we start unpacking the comforter, but it looks like we're going to be in the 40s and 50s for lows at night all through the week, and it's barely getting into the 70s, if it, even in the 70s at all, for the rest of the week. So to finish out September, all I did was, for that transition period, we just throw on these extra little quilts. And in our room, I have a cedar chest right here, and one of my blankets actually fell on the floor. I use this as a throw blanket whenever we're doing school in the living room and sometimes in the office. But what I actually had these on here on the bed a while ago, and then I had to move them. What I do is, the ones that I want like quick grab are right here on top of this cedar chest. This cedar chest was a gift from Matt. It's something that I'd always wanted, but until we purchased this house, we didn't have a home big enough where we had a room big enough for us to have one. And then when we were purchasing this home, we were looking for the trundle bunk bed for the girls, and he found this cedar chest at the same shop and purchased it. And it makes all of our blankets smell like cedar, and I absolutely love it. So it's been a piece that I keep in here, and this is where Matt and I keep our throw blankets. But in the kids' bedrooms, they actually have this, and we did a whole nother video on purchasing storage things from Walmart, but they have these baskets that you can get at Walmart. The other beds are higher off the floor, so they have bigger baskets. But because she only has a 6-inch clearance, we purchased these 5-inch baskets, and we're able to roll all of her throw blankets to fit in here perfectly on her beds. Like you can see, she has this beautiful quilt for her bed, and then she also has been adding this throw blanket we purchased at Sam's for her, and it has like a matching body length pillow with it as well. But if she gets cold, or like during the day when we're doing like movies for school, or we're just doing school together in the living room, or sometimes even in the dining room, they can come in here, pull these baskets out, get a blanket out, and then we can either put it back later, or if it gets dirty, just throw it in the wash. So now that we're looking at using the heaters though, the next thing that I do is I usually clean the space around the heaters. Our space heater stays in here year round because it's a really bulky one, and we kind of run out of room in our storage closet. We may end up having to get like an exterior storage unit for our house, family of 6. So for now though, our space heater is kind of staying in here, which is, we're fine with it. We have a big enough room to be able to, you know, have it in here full time. But my next job is, and also with this fan as well, we could do it, but you can see like the fans start to build up dust in here. I actually did this one recently. It's not that bad. But these fans start to get dust build up in here. And what we do is we have a handheld air compressor that we purchased off Amazon. I'll link it up here and in the description below. But we have a handheld air compressor. We plug it in right here, and then we basically just blow all the dust out of this. And then I kind of do like a burn off dust thing where I will stay in the room for 5 to 10 minutes once it turns on for the first time to make sure that there's no issues with the heater and burning off all the dust, and you know, it doesn't, you know, catch fire or anything. And we also have an emergency fire extinguisher that we keep all the time. We've never had a fire with a space heater, but with me, I'm always overprotective about that. Because like I've said in other videos before, I actually had a friend whose house burnt down when I was a kid, so I'm always like super protective of it. We're always checking the batteries and the smoke detectors, and I'm trying to be very, very careful with when we start space heaters for the first time. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you guys in a time lapse real quick, but I'm going to blow all this out, clean out the fan as well. And honestly, with us not running this fan, we haven't run this fan in like over a week. I'm probably just going to go ahead and pack it down to go into storage and clean this out because the fans are smaller. We have like a bunch of those. So clean the fan out, move it over to storage, and then keep it towards the front of our storage area. That way if we just change our mind and we need it, we can have it. But again, we also have the one in the bathroom that pulls heat as well. But dust both these out, and then I'll bring you back when I'm finished. Now that the heater is 100% completely dusted off, vacuumed all around here. By the way, there is a piece of furniture here and piece of furniture here. This is where it was last year. We didn't have any problems with the furniture feeling like hot to the touch, being too close to it, and it still heated our room to the temperature that we like, because again, we don't heat it like super warm in here, just kind of warm enough to knock off the chill and keep the pipes warm in our bathroom. So also, that's another thing to point out with you guys. Even though we don't have central heating under the house, because we keep the individual rooms warm, we haven't had any problems with the pipes. I know some people worry about that. We've actually had a plumber go under there last year and look, and the pipes were fine. So that's not something we have to worry about. But anyways, the heater's already taken care of. There's no hot to the touch. Keeps our room and the bathroom warm. Plus the bathroom also has its own heater in the ceiling. This is something I forgot to mention. This is from Amazon. You can buy these in a bulk pack. They Velcro together and cinch our cords. And the side that's touching the cord is actually not Velcro. The inside part is actually like a soft padding to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually fixing to film a shopping haul for you guys. It's actually a Walmart Christmas haul, because the other day we just, I don't know, we just did. We normally don't do it this early, but we did. So we did a Christmas haul. But anyway, so while I film that haul, it's probably going to take me 10 minutes. And let's see if we can get this thing going. Blower's going. I think you guys can hear that. And then we also have, I love this. It just looks like a little fireplace. Oh, and also, if you don't like a lot of light in your room, if we bought this on Amazon, I'll link it up here. I can't remember if we did or not. If you don't like a lot of light in your room, check this out. You can, I don't remember if this is the light or the heat. Oh, that's the heat. I need that on. So we'll leave that on. It's this one. Check this out. You can lower how much light level comes off the fireplace, or you can have it like super bright. I love this because I don't sleep great with a lot of lights on at night, because then I'm like looking around of like, okay, what's in the shadows? So like, I don't like a lot of light, but it's just enough light for me to be like, oh hey, the heater's on. So I love this, that you can like adjust the light control of it. But for now, I'm going to keep that turned up, leave it on for about 10 minutes, and just let it run its course. So this has been running non-stop, because I turned up a temperature where it would run non-stop for 12 to 15 minutes, and we have had no problems with it. Again, so like over here, this is not too far away, it's cool to the touch. The dresser over here, the metal part, it's all cool to the touch, so I'm not worried about where it is. But now that this is completely dusted off, let's move on to the next thing I'm going to do to prep for the cooler weather. I'm definitely not doing everything in order, like all the heaters at once, all this, that, or the other. I'm kind of working my way around the house to do each job as I need to. The next thing I'm going to work on is actually cleaning the filter cover for the air conditioner and replacing the filter. Now I know what you guys are going to say. If you're not using the heater part of the HVAC system, why do you need to replace the filter? My goal is that if a hot day comes up in the middle of fall, because sometimes that happens in the South, then I can turn the AC on and not have to worry about, is it clean, is it not, and I can go ahead and have it ready. Plus, whenever you're already prepping for Thanksgiving and holidays, it's one less thing for me to have to worry about of, is it done? Because sometimes we will, even though the HVAC doesn't work great, on really, really cold nights, there's sometimes we will run it on the lowest setting at night, night just to make sure that the pipes stay warm in the house. So there's times that we may end up needing it, and I would rather go ahead and take care of it now. Plus, since currently it is turned off, it gives me time to do a deeper cleaning on it than I normally do during the summer. So during the summer, whenever I do replace the filter in here, I will take the air compressor and spray this down and clean it off. Or sometimes I'll even take it to the front porch and sweep it off to make sure completely everything is off here. But what I want to do this time, and I try to do it once a year, I'm not great at it, but I try to do it at least once a year whenever it goes off for the winter, is I try to take this, I'm going to air compress it off, then I'm going to take it to my bathroom because it has one of the shower heads that you can take off and kind of spray things as you go, which is also why we bathe the dog in there. And I want to take it off and spray it down with hot water and let it sit. If I feel like it needs to, I could even spray it down with baking or a mixture of vinegar water. That we usually keep a bottle of 50/50 vinegar water in the house, and we switch to mostly that for our cleaner because number one, it's expensive, number two, it sanitizes, and number three, it worked better than some of the store-bought stuff did. So we always had that in the house anyways. So I could, if I need to, and just like, because I don't know what on earth this is. I don't know if like one of the kids walked by and got something on it or what. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it. I'm going to show air compressing it and just completely blowing it off before I remove it. And then I'll take it to my bathroom and do it because the bathroom's kind of a smaller space. It'd be hard to show you that. But I'm going to air compress it off first. Then I'm going to hose it down, leave it in my bathroom while I'm gone for the afternoon. Nobody will need to be in there anyways, in the shower. Let it drip dry. And then this evening, put a brand new filter. I may go ahead and do the brand new filter anyways. Or I may wait. No, actually, I don't have a filter yet, but that's okay. So what I'll do is I'll leave the other filter in for now. Spray this down when I'm at the store tomorrow. I'll buy the brand new filter, replace the filter, clean this out, and then have it ready for the next time I do need to use it. This is something new to me that I actually did not know existed. These are magnetic vent covers. It comes in 2 packs at Walmart. I haven't looked to see if Amazon sells them in bigger bulk online, but we just figured we're going to slowly over the rest of fall buy more. Because again, our unit has air conditioning, but the heat just doesn't work, and it usually ends up trying to overwork the system, and it just has worked out better for each room to have its own heater during the winter months because everybody can control the temperature to exactly what they want it to. And I usually every night before I go to bed check everybody's heaters, make sure there's nothing in front of them, and see that everything's working properly. But again, so I'm going to blow out the heater before we run it for the first time. I think they actually have done a test run on it, but I asked them to turn it off until I could make sure that all the dust was out of it and all the particles, because sometimes these will get hair trapped in them, and I want to get that cleaned out. So goal is I'm going to clean this out first, then I'm going to kind of try to clean around the vent. Of course I can't like clean the vent itself. Then I'm going to use the vacuum and vacuum completely around this area, make sure it gets completely cleaned out. Then we're going to test run the heater. It's a little bit warmer today, than when I first started the process, so it's going to be a little bit warmer in here. But I want to go ahead and test it out because it's supposed to drop down in the 40s tonight, and I want them to be able to have the heater if they want to. I love this one. I think we got it from Amazon. I think we've bought some from Amazon, some from Walmart as need be, but this one will drop down as low as 65, which is around, actually Matt and I usually keep our room at 60 in the winter. We just prefer to throw on extra blankets at night, and I sleep better with heavier blankets anyways. But it also, like, it has a timer on it if you didn't want to run like the full night, and then you could run it. It also does oscillate, but we found that with this one works really well for them because they can turn down as low as they want. And then like in the winter time, like, you know, in and out of showers, they can actually turn up higher later in the day if they want to, and it's not a problem. So this is a perfect heater for their room, but I need to get it cleaned out, vacuum around this area, and finish up this room and try out these magnetic strips and see if it cuts down on some of the cold air coming through the vents in the winter. And then we'll do this room, and then I'll move on to the next kids room, but probably just show you this room. Last thing that I'm going to do for now for winter prep, you see we've already switched out to the comforter. So what ended up happening was within a week we went from, hey, it's kind of chilly, maybe we should just throw on an extra quilt, to this upcoming week we're going to be right above freezing temperatures at night. So I wanted to go ahead and get the quilt on before that happened. And usually like the first week of October, if we don't do it immediately, we regret it and end up having like 10,000 throw blankets on our bed. So we decided to go ahead and get it out. Matt helps me with that because it's a pretty heavy comforter, which we love. And in the winter time, I tell him I think I sleep better because it's a heavier blanket. But this is a little bit thicker comforter than just the two quilts, lightweight quilts that were on here. So again, we went ahead and changed that out because, and I'm going to preface, because there's going to be somebody who watches this video and says, oh no, you're abusive to your kids because you don't use heating. Yes, we do. We have individual heating in each room. The thing is, Matt and I personally prefer to have heavier blankets and leave the room cooler at night because we sleep better in the winter that way. Some of the kids prefer to have the heat cranked up in their room super hot, and then they sleep with lightweight blankets. And that's one of the great things about individually heating each room, is that the kids can decide what kind of heat they want in their room. Or if they're like us and they want it a little bit cooler and heavier blankets, whatever they want to do, as long as the heaters are safe in their room. So that's kind of where we are, is Matt and I would prefer to have the heavier blanket, and then we turn our heater down at night. So that's how we do our room. But this is the last thing that I'm going to be doing for winter prep. And I'm going to ask a favor of you guys. So YouTube algorithm usually says that in September and October, and hopefully if you've made it this far, you enjoy our videos. September and October, the YouTube algorithm usually drops because people just don't have time to watch as much. So I'm gonna ask, I usually don't, you guys. I do put like little hints in the video, like the, you know, the pop-up things, but I usually don't like vocalize. If you guys could, to help out our channel so that we can keep making content like this to kind of help you all and encourage you through your everyday life and travel and homeschooling, which are the three aspects that we try to cover, is everyday life, travel, and homeschooling. Could you please hit that subscribe button below? And if you even want to consider it, I won't push it. We do have a join button below for 99 cents a month. You can help support our channel every single month. We would greatly appreciate that, and that would really help us out. But again, if these tips have helped you out, then please consider doing all those below, and any positive comments also helps. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Hit that big thumbs up button, and we will see you next time.